back. You're watching The Money Show on ET Now. Well, let's talk about real estate. This is a topic we haven't discussed in really long, but of course, given the fact that real estate prices have been quite mouth-watering for the last, 1 year, coupled with the interest rates as well being extremely low, it does create quite a lucrative opportunity to invest in real estate or even buy your first home. And now, as we understand, even upgrading your home from maybe a 1 or a 2 BHK to a 3 or a 4 BHK. However, this last few weeks have of course seen registrations dip, property sales dip. So let's talk about what we are witnessing, which of the towns and cities that could see good lucrative opportunities for property buying. I have with me Rajani Sinha, Chief Economist and National Director for Research with Knight Frank India. Rajani, great to have you back with us on The Money Show. Hope you've been doing okay amidst this pandemic. So to start with, Rajani, what have you seen in the month of May? Have customers held back on their realty purchases, be it for investment or for their own consumption?
Hi, good evening. So, Mubina, yes, what we saw was that in the month of April and May, residential sales have again fallen. So the very sharp pickup that we had seen in the fourth quarter of 2020 and which we saw continuing in the first quarter of 2021, again with the second wave of pandemic hitting, we have seen the sales drop in the month of April, May. Specifically for Mumbai, where the buyers had the benefit of lower stamp duty. With that benefit going away from April, and then the pandemic hit, we have seen the sales falling in April and May.
All right. How has also the kind of real estate sales that were done trended? Where has the Indian customer flocked to? Has it been towards smaller sized apartments? Have they upgraded their apartments then from smaller to larger ones? And also location, geography, right? Up until now, we wanted to live close to our workplace, but now that's a moot feature of a property. So what have you seen in terms of trends of the location as well as the size of the household?
So, let me begin by talking about location. So during the pandemic, people realized that they could work from anywhere and they didn't need to be close to their workplace. But we did not see a strong trend of people moving away from city centers towards the suburbs or peripheries. Nor did we see that being reflected in the prices. The prices fell across micro markets. It's not that the price was sharper in city centers. So basically, we did not see a strong trend of people moving away from city centers towards suburbs or peripheries. And that's mainly because this whole concept of work from home, the corporates as well as the employees, they are experimenting with the concept. They do not know going forward how the hybrid model is going to work out. So even if there is going to be a hybrid model, most probably most of the employees will have to go to their workplace on few days of the week. Hence, we are not seeing a strong move away from the workplace. At least till now, we are not seeing that in the data. In fact, some of the buyers may use this opportunity of prices going down to buy a house closer to their workplace, which would be more convenient for them once things normalize. So that's what's happening on the location front. As far as the size of houses are concerned, yes, people are opting for bigger and better houses because people are feeling the need. They're spending more time at home. So, and like I said, right now prices are low, interest rates are at a low. So they are using this opportunity to move to bigger houses if their income permits. So in terms of size, that's what we are seeing.
All right. Okay. Interesting. Let's talk, Rajani, then that since you're saying that you do expect stability in pricing, even in the city centers or the metros for realty, does it continue to be an attractive investment opportunity as well for those individuals who may have some cash saved off? And I ask you this purely from an investment perspective, which means I would like to take into consideration the residential rental yields as well.
So, Mubina, when it comes to investment, when someone is looking at it from investment perspective, they are looking at price appreciation and a meaningful price appreciation. And the way the situation is right now, once this pandemic situation normalizes, we do see demand coming back, demand for residential houses, but we see a very gradual comeback. And prices may increase going forward, not in the near term, probably in the next 1 year, but we see a gradual appreciation in prices happening. Because if you see what has been happening in the real estate sector in the last few years, prices have been falling in the last 4-5 years. Most of the speculators are out of the market. 5 years back, when the prices in real estate sector, when the housing prices used to rise very sharply, that was mainly because of a lot of speculators in the market. But now they are not there. Now what we have in the market are mainly these end users. And with the end user demand, I do not see a very strong appreciation in price happening. So to just put it very briefly, I would say right now, residential real estate sector doesn't look like a very attractive investment opportunity, because in terms of price appreciation, I see that happening very gradually over a longer period of time, not a quick appreciation in the near term.
All right, fair enough. Now let's, continuing that conversation, how do you see the whole rent versus buy argument shaping up now? Because obviously the world we live in today is quite different from what we saw last year.
So, this whole debate around rental versus ownership, I would say this is a very individual specific parameter. A lot of people in India, in fact, most of the people in India prefer owning a house. And that could be because of whatever reason. They just prefer to have their own house. They do not like the idea of, changing houses in 2 or 3 years, which would happen in case you're renting. So it's a very individual specific decision. But if I look at the pure mathematics of it, then the rental yields in India are very low. So with rental yield of around 2.5%, it definitely makes sense to rent a house vis-a-vis owning. But like I said, it's a very individual specific decision. And in fact, another way to look at it is that right now, the interest rates in the economy are at a multi-decade low. And that has resulted in the differential between interest rate and rental yields also falling to a very low level. And in fact, that could lure some of the people to move towards ownership versus renting a house. And the other aspect that we have to take into this whole debate about rental versus owning is what kind of price appreciation do we expect? Because a home owner would also be looking at what kind of price appreciation he or she can expect going forward. And like I said earlier, I do not expect a very strong appreciation in prices happening in the near to medium term in the housing sector. So these are the broad parameters, and I would say anyone making a decision on owning versus buying, owning versus renting should base it on these parameters.
All right, fair enough. Also, is now then a good time to even consider upgrading your home? You already have a home of your own. It may be smaller for you, your family may have expanded, or of course, because of the whole work from home situation, you may think that you need that little space as well. Do you think now is a good time to consider upgrading it as well? And when I say upgrading, I'm also looking at perhaps a situation where the individual will have to sell off that smaller home. Is this a good market to sell then as well?
So, yes, this is a very good time for upgrading your house because, like I mentioned, prices are low and prices have fallen not just during this pandemic, prices had been falling even before that. Developers are giving a lot of discounts, freebies, flexible payment options. In fact, now they're talking about reducing these freebies because things had started improving. Household savings are at a high. So I would say, taking into account these parameters, it's a very good time to upgrade your house. As far as selling your old house is concerned, so obviously prices have gone down. So that that compromise you will have to make. You will be able to sell at a lower price and buy at a lower price. But still, I would say it's a good time to upgrade because all other factors like prices and interest rates are favorable towards upgrading right now.
All right. Okay. Well, there you have it. Yes, while of course to sell your property the prices have decreased, but guess what? To even buy one, it has decreased because that's the market right now. Unfortunately, on both ends of the spectrum, I think the purchasing power, the bargaining power, to put it rightly, does lie with the buyer. So that's the reason why, if you do want to look to upgrade your home, then selling it as well could be a little difficult. In the sense that you may not get the price exactly that you want, but if you will be looking to buy it, then you will get the price that you want because you're on the other side of the equation. So yeah, upgrading your home as well, if you've got that cash lying around, and considering the fact that interest rates are so low, it is definitely a good time to do that. But with that, Rajani, we leave it. Thank you so much for taking our time and joining us on the Money Show today.